Sunday. A lot of people have made some resolutions, things they would want to do in the course of the week. So it is a moment, today is actually a moment for you to sit back, reflect upon all of the things that you have listed, check them out and find out which ones you have been able to achieve, the ones you're on the verge of achieving, and the ones that are achievable. Those are the things you need to do as far as the midweek is concerned. Guys, welcome. This is where we serve you nothing but the best of breakfast on TV, spanning from now till somewhere around 10 a.m. where we finally hang our cloaks and make way for other programs to come your way, just as you want it. It's wet and very slippery, so you ought to be very careful out there. And so for us, we'll serve you just what you need, very hot and spicy as you just want it served on the on the plate for you as well. So join the conversation wherever you are via all our social media platforms. Indeed, we are back on all social media platforms, right? Trust us, we go all out for you. So join us on all our social media platforms and feel free to like, share, and also drop your comments under any of the live broadcast. It's our responsibility to read them out loud and clear. You can also share your thought with us via WhatsApp number 055-269-7939, 055-269-7939. Quite a number of things for us to take a look at in the world of sports. Indeed, the only team in the EPL that has created a lot of slots for the EPL teams won again yesterday. Thumbs up to the Gunners of England. And indeed, they are sailing through gradually into what a lot of people doubted them to do. It's something Godfrey definitely will come your way with as far as sports is concerned. Issues about the Ghana Black Stars is still ongoing. How many days more? If you do the calculation, I don't have that on top of my mind, but in a matter of some 60 or 70 days, we should be heading to the World Cup. Yes, Ghana is still in the market searching for a substantive head coach. Yesterday, the team right here on the arena had a conversation on that. Maybe we'll look at some fallouts if Godfrey comes our way with the sports segment. And far from that, the world of entertainment is also buzzing. Yes, a lot of talk coming up as far as the VGM is concerned. All is, gradually preparations are underway for that particular one. Asantua most definitely will come your way with the e-update segment also this morning. But remember to make time with her later 2 p.m. For the other program as well. But our conversation this morning, right, I want us to take a look at something. The influx of foreigners, especially neighboring countries, coming to Ghana. Lots of them are on our streets. Lots of them in our markets, at our lorry stations, terminals here and there. But do they really have all the documents to support their stay? And do they have all the documents to even do business? Major concern that we should be looking at this morning. Riding on the back of that document or that directive that was given even by the Foreign Affairs Minister and also the President, of course, we'll bring you excerpts of that. So you can also join the conversation. So it's mainly that's what we're going to look at, the influx of foreign nationals in Ghana. What does that really mean to us as well? But before we even get to that, let's look at our weather this morning. I told you it's already wet and slippery. Showers earlier in the morning. It's still raining in my area. During Ghana precisely, it's still raining. I don't know about the other parts as well, but here in Abiling and its environs, it's okay. The weather is very clear, but temperature is currently hovering at 26 degrees Celsius, quite fair, 26 degrees Celsius. So as at yesterday around the same time, it was a bit hotter. We had 27, 28 degrees Celsius, but this morning it is 26 degrees Celsius, but it's likely it will rise to 30, 31 degrees Celsius around midday 1 p.m. thereabouts. So yes, this morning it might be cold, it might be relatively fair, but in the afternoon thereabout, it's likely it will rise to 31 degrees Celsius. So as always, you can never tell, right? This is the report we are having, but it's also incumbent on you to safeguard yourself out there. So use all the protective gears as you step out. If you need an umbrella, please grab one. If you need a raincoat, please grab one. But ensure that you wear some plain clothes or light clothes, as definitely the sun will rise and the temperature will rise to like 31, 32 degrees later in the day. So stay protected, stay safe out there, and drink a lot of water, right? I always tell you, drink a lot of water. Jainsa and you, right? Drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. Fortunately, today the meeting will happen where the final determination on whether there should be an increase on the price of sachet water should be considered or not. But we just pray that they will find an amicable way of resolving this particular issue. But let's end this segment or the beginning with this motivation from Joan Collins. And Joan says, show me a person who has never made a mistake and I'll show you someone who has never achieved much. Joan says, show me a person who has never made a mistake and I'll show you someone who has never achieved much. It simply tells you that, for all those big guys who have made it, whether financially, whether spiritually or whatever way, one way or the other, they have made mistakes. You are not Jesus Christ. You are not God to be perfect. As a mere mortal, as a mere human being, you will make mistakes. But that mistake shouldn't deter you from continuing the fight. That mistake shouldn't deter you from continuing or going ahead to achieve all that you have put for yourself, right? The mistake should rather be a guide. It should rather help you search through. It should rather help you soldier on as a gallant one, of course. Mistakes are bound to happen, regardless, no matter what. Even the president makes mistakes, right? So you just have to watch it and correct that mistake. That mistake should be a stepping stone for you to become the best version of yourself. So mistakes are allowed, mistakes are bound to happen, but use that mistake as a stepping stone to move on in life. Don't stagger, don't wail, don't cry over that spilled milk. You can make it. And that's exactly what Joan Collins is telling us this morning. That's how I welcome you on board to the Wednesday's edition of the WoezorTV Breakfast Cafe. Like I told you, it's wet and very slippery out there. Take care of yourselves, especially our drivers and other road users. Let's take a breather. The chefs are ready for us to cook and serve you the best. Stay with me after the break. I will introduce them.
Well, not too long ago, the great President John Mahama went to the United Nations and spoke for my people of Jamaica and the Caribbean and the Americas. And you said, we are not looking a handout, but recognition of what took place in the transatlantic slave trade. I thank you, my president. I am a child who suffer from this. Chains on my feet, whip in the hand. And tonight I sing a song to go along with your mission of reparations. Not a handout, but to acknowledge. But we're gonna do it not just reggae style, we're gonna do it high life. A high life remix by me, Graham Smargan of Morgan Heritage. Oh, President Mahama, I thank you for saying what you said at the United Nations. Reparations, justice must come. Africa and the Caribbean as one. Zimbabwe, not charity, but exposing them both. Now a new day of justice is born. Across the ocean, torn from the land. Chains on my feet, whip in the hand. But your light carried us through the storms. Now a new day of justice is born. Reparations, justice must come, yeah. Africa and the Caribbean as one. Not charity, but exposing them both. Now a new day of justice is born. Reparations, justice must come. Africa and the Caribbean as one. Not charity, but exposing them both. Now a new day of justice is born. Africa crying out loud. Now a new day of justice is born. Mahama, I give you strength. From Ghana to Zimbabwe, we thank you for holding the way. We say, Mahama, justice must come. Africa and the Caribbean as one. I say from Jamaica right to Accra. Now a new day of justice is born. Play it low. Across the ocean, I was torn from the land. There was chains on my feet, whip in the hand. But Jah light carried us through the storms. Now a new day of justice is born. Mahama, Africa, and the Caribbean as one. Now a new day of justice is born. Papa Mahama, Africa is crying out. Now a new day of justice is born. I love you. Much love from Jamaica. Ooh yeah. We say Mahama, justice must come. Now a new day of justice is born. We say, Mahama, justice must come, yeah. Now a new day of justice is born. Reparations.
Okay, next one. Sit down. Look to camera.
This is what it looks like to be exceptional, to stand out from the crowd, to make history. But what if women didn't have to be exceptional? What if they didn't have to be the first, the best, or the only woman? What if being a female engineer wasn't remarkable? What if women and men could compete as equals? I don't want to make history. I don't want to be the only woman. I want to be one of many.
Embarrassed. Too embarrassed to speak to a loved one. Too embarrassed to speak to your doctor.
Too embarrassed. When in our lifetime, 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 12 black men will die from prostate cancer.
Let me repeat that. 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 12 black men will die from prostate cancer disease.
1 in 12. That could be your dad, even your older brother, uncle, or grandfather.
You need to make sure they are not embarrassed to speak to you or their doctor about it.
Hey, Dad, have you had your prostate checked out? See? How hard is that? It's easy. Just start the conversation.
Prostate cancer is survivable if caught and treated early enough.
Don't let embarrassment stop you having this important conversation.
You may save someone's life.
Not just your own.
All right, so welcome back. Many thanks for still staying with us here on the WoezorTV Breakfast Cafe. And as I told you, the team is ready. My co-chefs are in the kitchen to serve you the best of breakfast on TV. I'll find out from them whether it's still raining or if they have any idea if it's still raining in their area. So we know what exactly to serve each and every constituent based on where we are coming from. My constituent needs some hot kinky and some shito with salmon. Karim will tell you it's not salmon, it's mackerel, whatever. But guys, yesterday the president made some emphatic statements in France as far as the One Health Summit is concerned. We'll touch on that as well. And also, as I mentioned, we'll talk about the influx of foreign nationals in the country. What does that really mean? Do they even have the papers to be here? We'll discuss that. Riding at the back of that, visa-free for the continent, a conversation we should be having. So join the conversation via all our social media platforms. You can also drop your text via WhatsApp number 055-269-7939. Let me start off from Karen. Karen, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Why, you didn't want to respond?
I'm fine.
Okay. Karen,
how are you too?
I'm fine.
Bless up, my brethren.
What's up? How has the running been like?
You know, it's been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an adventure. It's been work, but it's been fun along the line.
I am curious about one thing. You have been going around. Let's talk about the big push. The projects that the NDC government probably initiated, the ones they inherited. And how far? How is it going on the grounds? How is it going?
In fact, the entire country has become a construction site, just as the president announced or promised, or when they were cut and sold for the Big Push project. Fact of the matter is that yes, it is inconveniencing because sometimes you're in a hurry, you want to get to a place on time, you wash your car, by the time you get to your destination the cars become brown. And all of that. But some of us have come to understand that it is a sacrifice we have to make for the better things to come. But trust me, the Big Push is active and working. That I can assure you, that roads are really being worked on as we speak in the country. It is not just muff. It is not just talk. They're actually working on the roads, and that's the amazing thing that's happening. So the Big Push is happening on the ground. So it's not as though the government was just talking. No, the government is actually doing. So it's moved beyond the talk and it's gone into practicality. And so roads are being worked on, and we are hoping that the speed at which a lot of the contractors are moving, hopefully by 2027, 2028, we should have some, of these roads completed, or majority of the work done at the end of the day. And so, yeah, we're really looking forward to that. And so, yeah, Charlie, kudos to the government, kudos to the Roads and Highways Minister. I think he's doing a fantastic job. One of the hardworking ministers so far, I must say, and it's really impressive what you're doing.
I am also thinking, I don't know, but if it is the fact that they're waiting for some of the major roads to be completed before they reintroduce the tolls.
Of course.
Remember, it was part of the major conversations we had at the initial stages of the government.
Absolutely. They've mentioned it. I mean, you can't toll a road that is not fixed. So I'm sure that once they complete, those roads, for instance, you pick a city like Accra, we know where a lot of the major tolls were. The Dodowa road. Of course, that road is also being worked on as we speak. So they're going to have a toll route on that stretch, definitely. You pick the Tema motorway, that also had a toll. So obviously we're going to have another toll, on that one. You pick the Kaswa, the Windiba stretch that also had. So we're going to have one. We're going to have another one on that stretch. I think the only one we didn't really have any, toll booth was on this particular one.
Which one?
This is Achimota of Anko.
Okay, this one.
Until when you're going towards Nsawam.
Yeah.
Then there was also a toll booth. You remember?
Okay.
There was a toll booth there as well.
Yeah.
And then after that, when you're hitting the, what's it for a friend then?
Where formats comes from?
Yeah, that's what I said. I talked about the Mamoto way.
Okay.
The Pong area and all of that. Yeah, I mentioned that. And then now, of course, the Pukwasin Sawam stretch. And then after that, going towards the Ashanti region, I think you had a number of toll booths. Just when you're exiting Eastern, and then also when you're entering Ashanti after what's it called? After Konongo. Those areas getting towards adjacent into Kumasi, there were toll booths there. So hopefully we're hoping that we'll see some.
And there's one also, there was one on the bridge, the Adomi Bridge.
Yes, on the Adomi Bridge, yeah. Even from Kumasi, also heading towards the north, before Techiman, from Techiman, before you get into Kintampo, get to Baba Tokuma, there were a number of toll booths. So we're hoping that they'll bring all of them back. But of course, as mentioned, you can't toll roads that are not fixed. And so we'll just call on the government, let's keep the momentum, let's keep the works happening. There's still some roads, of course, that need some work to be done on. And so as we are commending them for those that are being built, we must also draw the attention to those that need critical attention. For instance, for a very long time, maybe in the last 7 or 8 years, I've never driven on the Kumasi to Tamale stretch until over the weekend when I went to Bipe for the Gonjaland Youth Association 50th anniversary, and I drove on that stretch. And of course, that road needs some work. From Kumasi all the way.
But that's not captured under the big push, I guess.
I don't know. I'd have to clarify. I have to confirm. Yes, but you pick from Kumasi all the way to BP. At least the road was not so good. So it needs some work. So eventually, when I was coming back to Accra, I had to go through. There's some new road that Charlie. The road sweet die.
But never fix and finish.
Them do a major part of it. It takes you through Techimantia. Towards the road sweet die. They will take you come hit to the Sunyani, to through Bichim, brings you to the Sunyani Kumasi road. Okay. So they've done a major part of it until what's the name of this town? Just when you're about to enter Kumasi, just a small stretch of it. And I've seen the contractor has cleared, the old what's it called, asphalt that used to be on the road. And so we're hoping that they'll put the new asphalt on it. And that also, let me just clarify this issue before you take over. So clearly what's happened on that road is rehabilitation. Because it's an old road that existed and they are rehabilitating it. And so rehabilitation does not necessarily mean that we are going to patch it. It could also mean that we are taking off the old and bringing a new one. And so I'm mentioning that because of what's happened in recent times, a lot of propaganda happening that this road was constructed for this amount. You claim you are rehabilitating and it's costing this. Rehabilitation could be fresh work being done. You understand? With a completely different scope from what was even done when the new one was when the previous one was built. So I just want us to clarify that. But aside that, the big push is a reality. It's not just political promise. It is happening on the ground.
I am just praying and willing to see the Eastern Corridor Road fixed, because that makes it very easy commuting. Traveling from Accra to the northern part of the country as well. So it's something I would really want us to see coming in the days ahead of us as well.
Absolutely.
But there is this interesting conversation I want us to have, and now you have also been monitoring all that the president said yesterday as far as the One Health Summit is concerned. I'll just share a few of the statements on the screen for you. The president, and I will just quote exactly all that he said. For instance, he mentioned that we are living in truly interesting times, and much of what we previously took for granted is now being questioned, and our old answers have now become the new questions. To be honest, these shifts and cracks in world affairs are not limited to global health. They have spread across every corner of our shared global identity, and that's actually President John Dramani Mahama, who spoke at the One Health Summit yesterday. Let me just look at another thing that he mentioned. He says that around the world, we are facing an overwhelming surge of health threats across borders. Every species in the crosshairs, animals, humans, and plants. are not spared. Again, he mentioned that since the dawn of African civilization, from Songhai to Great Zimbabwe, from Timbuktu to Aksum and to ancient Egypt, traditional knowledge has incorporated systems for diagnosing and treating chronic ailments, for dealing with plagues and pests, and even the practice of terrace farming. This knowledge has always been with us. What has been needed in recent times has been for experience to intersect with it. Quite a number of emphatic statements mentioned by President Mahama yesterday. But now let me take it from you on issues about health. Are we, as a continent, are we really on track? Or we've just done the merry-go-round, talk, because there is this SDG, there is this UN goal, there is blah, 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 but it looks as if we are still struggling to overcome some of this ailments. Take malaria, for instance. It's still a very rife ailment here in Africa, Ghana precisely as well. Your take on all that we saw yesterday?
Well, given your question on the health situation in Africa, I would say we've done well. In fact, just yesterday we were here talking about an incident from the Ashanti region, and you saw what was going on there. And for a country like Ghana, where a 69-year-old country, where we still struggle with basic things, and for the issue of malaria like this, I would say that the basics, I would say it's with us as the people. Because if we are looking at some of the things that causes malaria, just at the choke gutters we have, look at how we dump rubbish, look at basic, it's just the basic things that causes the disease, that gives good grounds for the mosquitoes to breed. And the very things we are trying to avoid, the very things we've been taught from school and all, you'll still find people doing same. We sit here talk about how when it rains, people would just dump refuse into the gutters. And where does it go? It will choke and then it will overflow its banks, right? You find some of it being choked, some drainages being choked, and then the mosquitoes find that as very good grounds for them to breed. Where do they go to after breeding and developing or multiplying? They come into our rooms, they get into our offices, they bite us. And the thing of malaria, we've come to see it as something that is normal and something that has become a part of us. But honestly, a lot of people, in fact, we even do the malaria campaign here, and a lot of people keep dying of malaria in Ghana here. Cholera too is there. A number of things that could be easily prevented with change of character. But what do we find among the citizenry? The very things we talk about not for us to do is the very things we still go ahead to do. And so that is it for the country. But again, as a continent, to some extent, we've done well, but there's still, as a teacher I would say, more room for improvement, because the word is health sovereignty. We are not really independent on our own when it comes to a number of things. So vaccines, we still import vaccines, we still move people from our continent to other continents to seek better health care. We do not really have the facilities and the systems in place to really take care of us, right? We find some of this zoonotic disease, I don't know if it's the right word to use, the likes of Ebola and the rest coming in, and then it's from Africa, but we here cannot even find the right remedies or right medications to curb all these things. That people from other continents have to get medications and vaccines for us to use to curb those diseases here in the country. Then there is a problem. I mean, we've done considerably well, but I'll say that there's still more room for improvement. Okay.
Well, Karim, just touch briefly on that and then we zoom into another conversation.
Absolutely. I think that, as Na mentioned, we definitely do have a long way to go as far as our health is concerned. I mean, even primary health care is still a challenge. You ask yourself why a continent like Africa, which we say is is a mother continent of civilization. Civilization started here from Africa in Egypt. And just as the president mentioned, traditional medicine and all of that started here in Africa. And so you ask yourself, what really went wrong, right? For us to have lost all of these things and to now have to rely solely on foreign support or foreign aid to be able to take care of ourselves. You talk about vaccines today, and we cannot do anything except vaccines are brought from abroad.
And we leave them stuck at the port.
At the port. You talk about COVID-19 and the fact that we had to rely on vaccines from abroad. But remember that during COVID, one of the remedies for COVID at the time was some of our local, a method. You're talking about the neem trees and the inhale. So you really ask yourself that. I mean, so why have we not been able to leverage all of these options that we have, right, up until today? Our forefathers used, the traditional medicine. So why have we lost all of that? Why have we not been able to capitalize on all of these things? I've always mentioned that we cannot solve Africa's problems using foreign solutions. We must solve Africa's challenges with African solutions. That's the only way we'll become, self-sustaining. You get my point? And so I'm glad and I'm happy that we have a president finally who understands these things and is taking the necessary steps. Now, a lot of people might not understand the steps that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is taking, but they would become very beneficial and they will make a lot of meaning in the future. You basically have a president who is saying that Africans should be able to take care of Africa's health needs. And so African governments, African leaders come together. Let's look for the financing domestically to be able to take care of the needs of the African people. And that would include setting up, vaccine plants to be able to produce vaccines, setting up research centers to be able to do research to understand the kind of ailments that befall our people, and to be able to find lasting solutions to them, to be able to find the right medication for them. That's visionary thinking. We must not always rely on the West. Imagine that COVID-19 taught us one classical example of how we could be forsaken should any calamity befall us. If not for anything, Donald Trump pulling, U.S. aid and the funding that comes with it is enough lesson for us. It's a cue for us as African people to know that it's time for us to take our own destiny into our own hands. And so we must support this call or this initiative by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, of course, amongst other African leaders who have decided to take it up, the likes of the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, who's also been very instrumental in this conversation on Accra Reset and Africa Health Sovereignty and all of that. Amazing initiative by the president, and we must just continue to commend His Excellency the President and this government for taking that step. You can clearly see that spirit of the Nkrumahs, of our forebears, who wanted Africa to be independent, who wanted Africa to be sovereign, who wanted Africa to not rely solely on the Western world for aid and for support. And so that's clearly what we are seeing. We cannot continue to rely. We must also find our place, our position to take care of our own needs. And that's clearly what His Excellency the President is about it. Right, over the past decade, we have faced pandemics and plagues, from COVID-19 to Mpox, Lassa. Importance of One Health approach. We must reclaim our native, and that's exactly what I said. I'm involved in an accident. If you look at my hand, you see there are some 3 marks on it. Traditional medicine. You understand? So yes, go to the hospital, obviously go do the scans and all of those things. But go back to your traditional bone setters and they will do a clean job and not necessarily even have to put any metals or any screws in your I
don't know whether it worked. So why are we unable? And it comes back to resources. How well are we resourcing the research institutions? We spoke about CSIR the last time as well. But guys, I think we'll leave that, talk about it later, because the president again will engage some other people, hopefully today. We'll look at all the fallout. But there is another conversation. Nationals who are all in it. Now the question people raise is that if we are doing e-visas, free for African nationals, are we not just opening the Pandora box for all sort of things to happen in this country? And Karim, I'll start with you because you are an international relations student and you know much more about all of this. But I am looking at it from this angle that, look, there are Nigerians in the country who don't even have any.
But between Ghana and Zimbabwe, in-laws, we have a visa-free environment already. We can travel visa-free environment already. We can travel to each other's countries without needing a visa. You just hop onto the plane and without needing a visa, you just hop onto the plane and arrive in each other's in Harare, or in Accra. As in place to screen prospective visitors and to ensure that the security of our nation is not compromised. At the same time, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to pursue additional visa waiver agreements for Ghana.
Yes, I mean, in as much as we all want that one united Africa, because you spoke about the trait of Kwame Nkrumah in some of these our leaders. Yes, but how about security and safety? Because you look at what's happening in the Sahel and even just close to.
Now, before you travel to Kenya, what happens is that you must apply. What happens is that you must apply for an ETA. That is an electronic travel authorization. That's if I'm getting the full authorization. That's if I'm getting the full. It's an electronic travel. It's an electronic travel authorization. So you must apply online authorization. So you must apply online for it. Investigate to their country. Now, when you are applying for an ETA from Kenya, there are a number of things that they will ask you for. One, they would ask you for your passport. So you'd have to you must provide the address to the hotel and provide a phone number to the hotel.
These are similar questions you encountered when you're applying for a visa.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
You get it. So all of these are questions that you will still have to answer. And that is what would give the immigration service at least some information to be able to also do their background checks. So call the hotel where you say you're going to be staying, or call that Ghanaian citizen you say you're going to be living in their house, so they can verify that indeed a CMC is coming into. Those things are things that would be looked at. Those things are things that would be looked at, and that would inform whether your e-visa or your ETA, if one has to put it that way, should be approved for you to get into the country.
Okay. So
you to get into the country.
Okay. So that's clear. Hold on.
Okay.
Have you
need that? You still need that ETA to be able to go in. So it's not as though you can just get up and say, because I'm traveling by land, I can easily go through. For example, if I decide today that I want to drive to Europe, I can drive and go everywhere, get to Morocco. But from Morocco to Spain, if we say that we are making it visa free for you, what it means is that you're not going to have to pay for the visa. If we say we are giving you a visa waiver, it means that you are not paying for anything, and you can just pick your passport, book a flight, and come into Ghana, like we have with South Africa. So we can get up to any day. Any Ghanaian can pick
whoever wants to enter and all of
Absolutely.
that. You know how these terrorists sometimes operate. They could look so fine, gentle, and all of that. But hold on, I'll come back and look at all of that. Now, come in. You think this is good for our democracy, good for the country, for the growth of the country?
Is there two ways?
Okay. Share with us.
It's on the border too. Somebody fights on the border too. Somebody comes to school in the Lubo, stay somewhere in Yable. Comes to school in the Lubo, stay somewhere in Yable. Like, it's like that he gets. And so, it's be very, like that he gets. And so, it will be very, very difficult unless we are going to put in stringent measures to get to know that, okay, you are going to put in stringent measures to get to know that, okay, you are getting into the country. What for? Getting into the country. What for? What? Let me see your documentation, like something. It shouldn't be that. Yes, I think this is also a step in the right direction to help with the implementation of, because it keeps, I say that it's always on paper. What actually is going on grounds, right? We have after Dream 2, so yeah, that's it, a two-way thing.
All right, so Karen believes that it's about trade. The advantage is the trade aspect.
Or even beyond trade too.
The advantage is the trade aspect.
Or even beyond trade too. There are various aspects we can also look at.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Anyway, Karim, so I asked about the advantages.
Yeah.
Now, I have
an initiative for Africans. Randy, we sat down for some people in the 19th century, to go and sit in Berlin, at the Berlin conference.
Okay.
And decide at the Berlin conference.
Okay.
And decide to partition Africa to themselves. To themselves. And so, like you people, the northern part of Ghana that also has a connection to Ivory Coast, from my mother's from Tambole, there's also another border, from there that goes into Ivory Coast. And they share similar language. So we are basically one people.
Yeah.
Randy, why should it be so to take money at the end of the day? But it's supposed to be free. You're done, you get to Benin, the same thing at the border post.
It gets worse.
You're getting into Nigeria, I told you the last time, you meet like 49 to 51 checkpoints, and everyone will take before you get into Lagos, mainland, right? Why should that be the case? That I'm driving into Ivory, nobody will stop me at any point and ask me, where is your visa? That stop me at any point and ask me, where is your visa? That is allowing you to drive from Netherlands into France, or that is allowing you to sit on. I has to get a visa to be able to travel to African countries just to do business. This is someone who has businesses scattered across the continent. But in Europe, it's easy for him to move around. All he needs is one visa. And he can move. Africans can get up and come to Ghana and not have to pay. People don't have to pay to come into Ghana. What that also means is that it would also now motivate other countries to be able to open up for Ghanaians to also be able to move around.
Yeah.
If not for anything, you had the president and the foreign affairs minister for people to come in and invest in the economy. And when people come in and invest in the country, what it also means is that they're going to create jobs for Ghanaian people. Mind you, when somebody comes to set up a company in Ghana, they need a local to be able to register the company. So even if the company is just for one, and you're also putting the country on a certain pedestal where it becomes friendly to investors. Because what we are telling the world is that our country is safe and secure. And that's why we are opening it up for people to be able to come into our country. Randy, traveling to Dubai today, the only hindrance, of course, is the fact that you have to pay the visa fee. But Dubai is virtually open for people to come to open up and allow people to travel. So why are we also now crying and complaining that we should not allow other people to come into our country? And we keep saying that, and the Nigerians, and the so and the Fulani. Bro, we are Africans. We are one people. Why do we want to discriminate against our own people? You see, these things that are happening today, in future we would understand. Let me just close. Things that are happening today, in future we would understand. Let me just close on this. When we're kids growing up, and I'm sure for most of you might have, similar experiences. We didn't understand why our parents did a lot of this. We didn't understand why our parents did a lot of the things they did. For instance, sometimes those families, they are those helping some of us today. Because when you call them, they say, your father was a good man because of your father. Your father was a good man because of your father. I'll help you. Sometimes you walk into rooms and the mere mention of your parents' name, and I'm sure that once you get that understanding, you'd appreciate this step that has been taken by the government. So let's welcome it. I am 100% for it.
Okay, Karim, thanks. Kleiner made a comment earlier. I just wouldn't say it, but it's okay. When you mentioned Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he mentioned
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Your flight is ready to leave.
Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
blessed year for you. May it be a great year for you. May it be a beautiful year for you. 2 years of being a blessing to all those around you. This is coming from your Aunt Ellen to you. She wishes you a great year, a beautiful year, an amazing year filled with lots of God's love and God's blessing. Anaya, if you're seeing this, just know that Auntie Ellen loves you so much, and she wishes you the very best that life has got to offer. Go and glow in the grace of God. Anaya, happy birthday to you. Beautiful second anniversary to you. And again, I'm telling you, this is coming from Auntie Ellen to you. She wishes you a very beautiful year. Happy birthday to you, baby Anaya. And away from baby Anaya, let's see who we are celebrating again this morning. Opokwa Jeman Prempem, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Poku Ajiman Prempe. May this year be a great year for you, a beautiful year, an amazing year. This is coming from Kwame Japan, your son Kwame Japan, in Daysbeck, Germany. He wishes you a great year. He says that we should wish you the very best that life has got to offer here, and all the best in all that you do. So Opoku Adiman Prempe, this is coming from your son Kwame Japan to you. He wishes you a beautiful year. Happy birthday to you. Away from him, let's see who we are celebrating again this morning. Benedicta Iramatechi, happy birthday to you, Benedicta Iramatechi. May this year be a blessed one for you. May it be a beautiful one for you. Maybe a splendid year for you, Benedicta Iramatechi. Bask in the grace of God. Happy birthday to you. And moving on from Benedicta, let's celebrate another amazing personality. Owusu Jonathan, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. We wish you the very best that life has got to offer. We wish you the very best in all that you do. May the Lord bless this new year for you. Increase on every side. Happy birthday to you, Owusu Jonathan. Away from Owusu, let's see who we are celebrating again this morning. Okay, so this is a notable birthday, one I'm very much interested in, to an amazing big sister and friend, sister. Hey, is it okay to call her sister? Okay, yeah. Sister Adjoa, happy birthday to you. But for those of you, her government name is Christine Anson Esquire. So lawyer Christine Anson, yeah. Happy birthday to you. She is the deputy CEO of the Ghana Digital Centers Limited. So yeah, Sister Adjoa, happy birthday to you. I love you so much, and I thank God for your life. And on the occasion of your birthday, I just wish you the very best that life has got to offer. May all that you pray for come true. May all that you wish for be your portion in this year and beyond. I love you so much. And yes, take all your flowers, enjoy your day, enjoy this year. Happy birthday to you. And yes, that will be it for birthdays this morning here on the WoezorTV Breakfast Cafe. But before I go, let me also wish Edwin Salikem, it's your He urged world leaders to act decisively He urged world leaders to act decisively, calling for fair access to financing, technology and innovation, and stressing that a healthy and thriving Africa is essential for global progress. Delivering a strong call to action, he emphasized the need to move from commitment to concrete results, integrate One Health strategies into global systems, and build smart, coordinated surveillances and early warning mechanisms to prevent future pandemics.
That are most at risk have the least resources to cope. This must change. The world must face the stark and uncompromising fact that a healthy and thriving Africa is no threat to anyone. It will be a positive force for global progress. We must therefore ensure fair access to financing, technology, data, and innovation. We need to enhance research and knowledge sharing. Additionally, we must support countries in building resilient systems that can prevent, detect, and respond effectively. Although we have frequently discussed this, we have been slow in developing the necessary infrastructure for delivery. Let's muster the political will to integrate our fragmented regulatory environments, and let Lyon be the turning point. Today, however, I wish to make 3 calls to action, and I hope we can all commit to these immediately. First, let us shift from commitment to action. The period of declarations must come to an end. The moment for coordinated effort is here, and let us start from Lyon. Let us connect our One Health strategies for our national development agendas to a new global framework for public health. The international security agenda must fully adopt this approach as a key element of sustainable development worldwide. And thirdly, let us concentrate on building a new preventive shield and an intelligent radar system at its source. Robust surveillance systems, early warning mechanisms, and community-level interventions are our strongest defense against future pandemics. But these must be smart, dynamic, agile, and interoperable, lest we simply add new bureaucracies to old ones. The decisions we make at this summit will shape the future of global health security. And so let us ensure that they result in tangible, measurable outcomes for our people and our planet.
And now the government of Ghana has named engineer. The company says the upgrade will enhance reliability, stabilize voltage, and support growing demand, although customers within affected areas should expect temporary outages during the period of work. There's more in this report.
Anytime that any household, any entity, any company that is ready to connect to power supply will have enough capacity to supply those homes.
He adds that old transformers will be redeployed to support substations operating with only 1 year.
East Lagos. Yes. Then parts of Fair have been Rojo, Rosso, Lakeside, Community 6, 8, 9, parts of New Legon and surrounding areas, part of East Legon Hills, Soldier Line, ECG Village, Katamanso, Amanfrom, Paradise Estates, Regimanuel, Adum Gate and surrounding areas, Japan Motors, Lakeside Community 1 and 5.
The company says the Maijom installation is costing 34 million Ghana cedis with about 40% of work completed. The ECG apologizes for any inconvenience caused to the major public. For WoezorTV, Ellen Frimpong.
Now, the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry has held a high-level stakeholder meeting with Onion at the New Patriotic Party for the National Democratic Congress to apologize over its stance on the LGBTQ+ matters. He questioned why the issue should dominate national discourse when many citizens are more concerned about their livelihoods. Mr. Kwachiofosu noted that the realities of daily life make the debate less.
This morning. Is the first thing that mattered to you LGBT? Was it not about how you are going to live your life today, how you are going to find food to eat, how you will come to work, how to earn a salary, and how to make sure that ends meet? When you come to Ghana today and you list the issues that affect people, is that bill the number one priority of every Ghanaian? It is not. It does not. That it is not something that will adjust when the time comes. That it is not something that will adjust when the time comes. That is what the president said. The president spoke with pointers, and you have the tape of the president when he went to Philadelphia. Indeed, that is the place where he made that statement. In his interactions with the CSOs, he only referenced that statement he had made, that the West and other partners continue to have pressure for this to be done. And he says that as a country, the things that matter the most are the issues that affect the well-being of the Ghanaian. And how does a president saying this mean that LGBTQ is not important? Which president swears an oath to become president, and the thing that matters to him the most is LGBT? It's not about the welfare of ordinary people, how to make sure that education is properly financed, how to make sure that health is properly financed, how to deliver good roads, how to ensure that security is top-notch, how to ensure that electricity, water, job creation for the teeny youth who are unemployed. How can anybody see that these matters are not important? And that if a president says these are his priorities, then he has betrayed anybody. It simply does not make sense.
Time now for some international news. Now, dozens of people.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Now, this brings us to the end of the WoezorTV report. I am Karen Naoyokoti. Many thanks for joining us.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be. You're never alone when.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be. You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone. Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister. Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
Okay, next one. Sit down. Look to camera.
This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like to be exceptional, to stand out from the crowd, to make history. But what if women didn't have to be exceptional? What if they didn't have to be the first, the best?
Yesterday, Kumasi Asante Kotoko at home at the Babanyara Sports Stadium, they played against Samates for the second half of that game. In fact, in the Monday, you remember, they played the first half, which the second half was rained off, and so they had to play the second half of that entire game. So that's one of the Ghana Premier League. So that's one of the Ghana Premier League games that had to be cleared yesterday. Kotoko losing to Samates by 2-1. But let's talk about the AFCON 2027, which is just around the corner. The Uganda local organization committee for the 2027 African Cup of Nations has confirmed that the tournament will be held from 19th June to 18th of July 2027. The 36th edition of the Africans Flash Football Competition will be jointly hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania under the Pamoja banner, marking the first time three nations have combined to stage the tournament. The dates were announced during a local organization committee or local organizing committee, meeting in Kampala in April 7, 2026. Now, officials from Confederation of African Cup Football, which is the CAF, and the host nations believe the tournament will represent a significant milestone for East Africa, with major economic and social benefits expected across the regions. Now, preparations for the competition are already in progress, including the construction and upgrading of stadium, such as the new facility in Hoima, which is expected to host several matches during the tournament in that regard. Now,
Now let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal yesterday went away to beat Sporting CP by a goal to 0, thanks to Kai Havertz stoppage time winner for Arsenal, giving them that vital win in their away fixture against Sporting CP in Portugal, and so it gives them the edge going into the second leg of the competition. Here is a highlight of Arsenal Sporting CP in the UEFA Champions League yesterday. A good win for Mikel Arteta's side. Kai Havertz stepping up as the big boy in that game for Arsenal in that regard. But then elsewhere in Spain, Real Madrid suffered 2-1 defeat in the hands of German side Bayern Munich. Harry Kane marked his return from injury with a superb goal, and then Luis Diaz also getting the opener of that game for Bayern Munich. And so Bayern Munich went away to beat Real Madrid. So that's a fine form game for Bayern Munich beating Real Madrid in that KG encounter in the Champions League. But then Harry Kane spoke after the game. He said it was a good game for them. He didn't take anything away from Real Madrid. He applauded the team and said they will have to work hard in the second leg. Let's listen to Harry Kane.
You know, the feelings get even stronger, and we always feel dangerous. We always, you know, the
the feelings get even stronger, and we always feel dangerous. We always feel like we can score goals for sure, and we did again away from home. Feel like we can score goals for sure, and we did again away from home tonight.
But then his English counterpart, Alexander Trent Arnold, said that it's not over yet, even though they did not play well. It's not over yet, even though they did not play well. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. They'll go to Germany to finish the job. Go to Germany to finish the job.
Our aim is to win this competition. So we will push and do everything to win this competition. So we will push and do everything we can to go and win and get through. We can to go and win and get through to the next round.
An assist for yourself tonight. That ball was just perfectly weighted.
Next round.
An assist for yourself tonight. That ball was just perfectly weighted. Talk us through it.
Obviously, I think
he received. According to the Romanian Football Federation, which expresses its boundless regret following the death of the one who was and is and will remain an absolute legend for them. So the country has paid its tribute to them. Now they say that our football, losses not only a brilliant tactician, but then a mentor, a visionary, and a national symbol who carried the colors of Romania. Now, he managed Romania between 1981 and 1986 before returning for a second spell in charge in 2024. His last game in charge was a 1-0 playoff defeat by Turkey on 26th of March. That meant Romania missed out on the qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So, condolence to his family and the entire sporting fraternity. He's a great man. May his soul continue to rest in peace. I am Godfred Amwafo. Asanto, I will bring you entertainment. Do stay.
Women have united against breast cancer. Women have united against breast cancer. We need to get together and find a cure, as well as better ways to care for the 250,000 prostate cancer sufferers out there. Please, get on side and join us in the fight. Men United versus prostate cancer. We can win this.
Do you want a sugar-free, freshly squeezed fruit juice? Choose Greenline fruit juice and smooth.
What if being a female engineer wasn't remarkable? What if women and men could compete as equals? I don't want to make history. I don't want to be the only woman. I want to be one of many.
Embarrassed. Too embarrassed to speak to a loved one. Too embarrassed to speak to your doctor.
Too embarrassed. When in our lifetime, 1 in 4 black men survivable if caught and treated early enough. Survivable if caught and treated early enough.
Don't let embarrassment stop you having this important conversation.
You may save someone's life.
Not just your own.
Only a father can understand. Only a husband can understand. Only a man can understand. Prostate cancer. It's about more than fear of cancer. It's about fear of
trooping in here and there, and everybody has their favorite because we have 6 people vying for that category. We have Sarkodie, Stoneboy, Black Sherif, Medical. We also have Dinah Hamilton and Wendy Shea. So 2 women standing in strong in that category. And also, unfortunately, Kanye's headline event now open. Fan support is expected to play a decisive role ahead of the May Awards night, which is 9th of May, and Chatawale of the May Awards night, which is 9th of May, and Chatawale also took to Twitter to endorse Medical as a deserving artist of the year. Talk nonsense. We wasting time with unnecessary talk for this country too much. No wonder Bongo Ideas can't make it here in Ghana with all his nonsense. Okay, so now let's see the reaction. So Shata Saki Sariki says Medical or no artist this time around. Favoritism go knack in mother. And then we have J-Links Media, who says that deeper than blood, MDK is artist of the year and no one can take that from him this year, period. And then we have Big Dreams, and Big Dreams says Bongo dear, winning hands down. And then Sammy Fresh says big picture with a heart emoji. And then Yao Lancer says open to kwao Bongo ayo dien. And then we have Chumski, who says it's just favoritism that you are proclaiming, bro. It is because you talked about the little boy's dressing way. He replied, you know. So right now, waiting he deserve cry. You won't make we give your fellow back friend. And that's what Chumski is saying. And then Kobe comes in and says that Bongo Ideas they in some way, but he chopped stray bullet, of course. Where, like, was that necessary, by the way? And then we have Dreamer also saying that Benabu, talk is free and sweet, and it's cheaper. We go wait for that day. And then Ara TV says Stonebwoy deserves it more than any other artist. And then lastly, we have Robert Mugabe, who says that Black Sharif for Artist of the Year. Your boy is no match to the Artist of the Year contest. It's between Blacko and Stonebwoy. And this is what we mean when we talk about healthy competitions. Of course, everybody has their favorite on there. But I didn't see a lot of Wendy Shea. I didn't see a lot of Diana. And let's talk about streaming numbers and the payout. As a Ghanaian artist, Kim Paluta has also criticized Boomplay for that. Now, he did that over what he describes as low payouts to artists. And his concerns come after ranking 6th on the platform's most streamed artist list for early 2026, prompting questions about revenue distribution. Now, the issue adds to ongoing industry concerns about transparency and whether streaming success translates into meaningful earnings for creatives. And that is what we have from King Paluta. And just like you heard, he is number 6 on the most streamed artist here in Ghana for early 2026, most likely like the first quarter of the year. And that is his comment from social media you are seeing. He says, yes, but no money. You people are taking us for granted, and it's so wrong. And he tagged Boomplay with a lot of exclamation signs on there. So Boomplay, we are waiting for a reply because Kim Paluta can't seem to have it anymore. Now let's hear what Camido also has to say, as the Ghanaian singer says trust remains a major challenge in the music industry. Now speaking on
he like dissect it and make you sound stupid. You know, it happens a lot of the times, and so it's like the best thing is keep to yourself, you know, or pray to God. You know, so I'm not saying that I don't trust. There are people I trust, but then again, I'm just also highlighting the fact that it's most of the time it's not real.
Yeah,
you know, it's not real. So keep to yourself. You have your mother and your father there.
So that is congratulations going out to Molly on this one. I always say that these are some of the things that we love to see. So we are waiting for May 24th and then ending of June 28th, and the cancellation despite strong demand. So it's just quite unfortunate, but the show is no more happening. I've been giving you an update on this one, and at this point I think there is not much to say, but unfortunately we don't get to experience
Look to camera.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share. Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher.
Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
Hygiene. Sweep and mop your room daily. Dispose of waste properly. Use bins and not open spaces. Clean gutters to prevent stagnant water because they do serve as a breeding site for mosquitoes. Weed around your homes. Participate in community cleanups which help
and we'll make this session very interactive for you. Would give you the opportunity for you to call in and share your thoughts also. Would give you the opportunity for you to call in and share your thoughts also on the DNA, what it is about, what you know about it. Have you experienced situations where people's paternity test became 0%? There's been a rush for DNA tests in recent times. We are going to talk about all that, and then we'll invite you to join in the conversation. But when we talk about DNA, it is the long word is deoxyribonucleic acid. I'm trying to break it in syllables. I'm not going to repeat it again, but it is a hereditary material in humans and almost all living organisms, okay? And it carries genetic instructions that determine your traits like your height, your eye, your color, and even some health risk there. So that is it about DNA. And then every person inherits 50% of their DNA from their mother and the other 50% from their father, okay? So DNA is found in almost every living cell in the body. And then each person's DNA is unique, okay? So except identical twins, everybody's DNA is unique. So that means identical twins have more or less like a similar DNA, right? And then now let's talk about the big fish in the soup now. The big thing everyone is talking about. What is a DNA test or a paternity test? What does it involve? So a DNA or paternity test is used to determine whether a man is the biological father of a child, okay? So that is why you usually find a man going into tests and offering to, or they usually go for testing. Usually do not, the woman's DNA, yes, qualifies, but the child, it gives a 0% probability. But when the confirmation is done biologically that the father or the man is the father of the child, you usually get 99.99% probability. That is, so if you're getting anything like a 99.99% probability, that means that the man is the actual father of the child. So I mean, all the biological things are the actual father of the child. So I mean, all the biological things are checking, right? So that is it about the probability of the DNA. Can we move on? So there are types of the DNA test too. So we have the amniocentesis. So this is fluid taken from the womb, usually using a needle used to test the fetal DNA. So if your biology is quite well, when you see amnio, you know that it talks about the amniotic fluid that covers the child whilst he or she is in the mother's womb to prevent to shield the child from infections, from shocks and other things, right? And there's also the non-invasive prenatal testing, and then this usually uses the mother's blood, and then it is safer and it's becoming increasingly common. And these are typically used for early paternity confirmation, and they help detect some genetic conditions like the Down syndrome and other things. And so usually when the parents or in the pregnancy stage, they can do that prenatal one earlier to get to know maybe the child been born with some defect. They can easily terminate the pregnancy at that early stage rather than waiting after 9 months, right? And then why has the DNA test now become necessary today? Many of you can attest to the fact that there's a rise paternity doubts and disputes. So we've tend to hear a lot of stories on social media about paternity doubts and things, and so that has been one of the reasons DNA tests have become very necessary in our world today. There's also increased awareness due to social media and due to media and social conversations. There's also child support cases, and so sometimes when there are cases that requires child support, there's the need for DNA tests. I mean, it's very necessary in some of these instances. And away from the child support, there's also inheritance disputes. So sometimes people have to inherit things, and then I'm like, hey, Moja is not a child, blah blah blah. And so the DNA test comes in handy there. Can we go back to that slide, right? There's also immigration verification, and if you followed some trends on X this week, you've realized that some people are sharing their stories on how immigration verification of their children led them to know that they actually weren't fathers of the child. Some people too want peace of mind, though. Maybe have a lot of doubts about themselves. And a few years ago, we saw someone writing a memoir, and in the memoir she was talking about how she didn't know who her father was and had to go conduct some DNA tests, right? If the paternity is confirmed, it gives her some peace of mind, some clarity for her to move on. And also identity and lineage clarity is also another factor to why DNA has become very necessary in our world today. Can we move on? So, what is the current situation in Ghana like with regards to DNA? Now, 4 in 10 paternity tests conducted in Ghana in 2025, about 42.3%, excluded the tested man as the biological father, according to the new reports by the Blueprint DNA organization. That's a wild thing there. So 4 out of 10, it's a lot there. Shall we move on? And then the findings were presented at a stakeholder briefing at the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. Okay, that was somewhere in March earlier this year, highlighting the increasing reliance on scientific methods to confirm biological relationships, fathers and then their children. Can we move on? So the report also shows that nearly 59% of children involved in the testing are under 6 years old, suggesting that many families are now seeking confirmation early in the child's life rather than waiting. The men will invest money, and then the children will grow to a certain point before they realize that they are not their kids. So usually now it's 59%. That's a lot. Under 6 years. So from the early stage, they say now if they know that it's not they are not the fathers of the kids, they now move on with their lives and they know what to do. And so that is it about the DNA. But Robin Randy,
for people to go in for DNA, it's their right, it's their what are they entitled to it. If you really want to ascertain the truth of what there is in, then of course you can actually go ahead and do it. But mind you, sometimes it brings some sort of disappointment and misunderstandings here. I remember that story of what's the name of that ex-Black Stars player?
Neodate
Lamte. Yeah. I'm sorry, but he just came to mind as an example. And there are a plethora of examples out there. So imagine nurturing a child for 6, 7, 10, 15 years, only to find out later that Charlie, that's not your child. But I don't know if there is any way you can do it even before the child is born.
Yes. So now, I mentioned that in the text.
Yeah.
So I read somewhere where a woman and then her husband went in for the prenatal one. Then they realized the child were going to had Down syndrome. And so quickly they had to terminate that pregnancy. Yeah. But again, that one is now becoming common in our part of the country.
You know, A and I'm A or AA or whatever it is called, doesn't mean we can't love each other.
Yeah.
Yes. A and I'm A or AA or whatever it is called, doesn't mean we can't love each other.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be health implications. What happens to adoption? You know, when we know of all of that, we still want to stay together. I mean, the DNA, as you mentioned, if there is pregnancy and there is a check to say that the child definitely will be a carrier, safe abortion is allowed in some parts of the world as well. I don't know if that is done in Ghana, though, but I know there is safe abortion. So just to buttress that point. For me, DNA is okay. If you have the heart to contain or to take it, so be it. It's a good call, and I think he puts to rest most of these controversies over whose child, whose daughter, whose son, and all of that. And the whole years, DNA test should be easy. Why should I be in Ho, and when I want to run a DNA test, I come to Accra?
Yeah.
Why do I have to go to Tema? Why can't I be in Kumasi and do a DNA test? Why can't I be in Tamale or Savelugu and do DNA test? You know, it should be something that can be accessible to everyone, and that's why I'm saying that.
69739. It's your baby, your baby. Have you had any experience with the DNA testing? Have you been a victim? Did they bring you somebody's child as your child? How did you go about it? Call in, let's get to know your thoughts on it. But then again, Randy, don't you think that maybe the government's
lacking some of this equipment, that that we would have to use at the hospitals? You even brought the issue about beds, wasn't it incubators?
Yeah.
And all of wasn't it incubators?
Yeah.
And all of that. So if government is still going to pump money into that, into just DNA at this time, I'm not sure we really have that financial muscle to do that. But maybe it's going to be a gradual process, and I think that way it helps reduce that cost on the ordinary man. You know, the guilt living on the ordinary man. You know, the guilt living with somebody else's child for so many years. Charlie, some way be. So we can just advocate or call for it that the access to DNA tests should be decentralized. It should be common. It should be easy. Just like how you can walk into any health facility and run an HIV test, or go to any facility and run a malaria test, or any other medical test that you are supposed to do. It keeps you in shape, it keeps you in order, you know, it gives you a track as well. So maybe the governments or subsequent governments can also consider that, making it quite easy for people to access and also pay for that test. Actually in Ghana, running health tests very expensive. Running health tests very expensive. Very expensive. I'm dealing with one, for about 3 weeks now. It's not a joke. And the sad thing is that you go today, they run this test for you, you pay for it, you go back to the doctor, and it's not what they want.
Yeah.
You have to go and run another test. You can run more than 5-10 tests for just one thing, without even getting any concrete.
When you come and saw that, they'll now go and consult and then come and give you other things to do.
Okay, so what I understand or what I know is that there are always traits of something, and the symptoms are identical. So somebody could be actually suffering from typhoid, but that person will have symptoms of, say, malaria.
Okay, I think there's a caller now. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you are calling from?
You're running the tests that we have. Don't you think that it is more about our should I say our doctors, their level of should I say knowledge is that kind of not there. So they do more of try and error. That's why you go to hospital, they'll ask you to go and do this test. They'll tell you, I'm not seeing anything. Go and do this test. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
But if they have that kind of knowledge, or if that kind of their expertise are up there, They'll just give you to do one touch lab, and then you are off to go. So we need to also look at what kind of training we give to our doctors, and then that also will influence or have an impact on our health system that we have.
Right. Okay.
So
okay. Thank you so much, sir. Marandi, you were saying
so
something?
the explanation is that, and you see, it is not always accurate, and let's be fair, let's be real.
First and foremost, good morning. Good morning. My name is MK Erickson. I'm calling from Tichimine.
Well, Erickson, let's hear you.
Yeah, the last caller that just called, with due respect to him, we have competent, well-qualified doctors and laboratory technicians in this country. It is always the norm that there are certain diseases that you need more than one test to confirm. I'm speaking as a health professional, a professional nurse in this regard. You don't just do a test, one-off test, and you run with it in certain diseases when you're dealing with certain, even malaria. When you get to the hospital and probably we run first test on you and it's negative, we move ahead of that and do another test. And so to project the view that our doctors and lab technicians are incompetent, I think that was far below the point. When it comes to the DNA test, I would say it is becoming a necessity in today's Ghana and in today's world, because, my dear sister, it's not easy as a man sweating every blessed day. Build that connection with a child. Invest in that child. And one day you get to know that that is not your biological child. It is emotionally terrorizing. And all this is coming from the back of mistrust, as the first caller said, between partners. And sometimes you give all your trust to your woman or to your man. But at the end of the day, something will come up, probably through a text message you've seen, and you begin to suspect your wife. And so that is why it is very imperative that as young couples coming up, we need to be very faithful to one another, regardless of the differences. That's why my people will say that the tongue and the teeth, they usually fight, but they find a place to reconcile and live truly. And so I would say that government need to even take an intervention and make sure that these DNA test machines are available and closer to people or to the citizenry across the country. Just like how His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, through the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, is making sure that dialysis machines are closer to the people in every region. And recently, I will use this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Obobia Dako for taking the great step to come and donate 2 brand new dialysis machines to the Bono East region, which is stationed at the Holy Family the Holy Family Hospital here, and 2 to the Bono region. This is a great step, the boldest life-saving policy ever. And we are praying that Ghanaians should support this policy by way of donations, by way of support, because the Ghana Medical Trust Fund has 4 core functions, not only paying bills, but they equally have a function to train specialists to service the citizenry. They have a function to research into non-communicable diseases that are rare in ugly hairs, so that they can take proactive measures. They have a function to retool hospitals that will be added to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. And so we say kudos to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for coming up with this bold life-saving policy, and kudos to the director, the administrator, Memame Obobia Opoku Dako, for being there to serve Ghana. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Erickson. I think that was some great.
Yeah, I mean, so he only added up to what I was saying earlier, that we have the finest of
in that with the patient, and whereby the patient needs this kind of critical knowledge or this critical expertise from these people, we don't have them. So it gets to a point whereby our new doctors or something like that will have to do this kind of try and errors before we get to a point whereby they will know what is actually wrong with such a person. Because I have a lot of cases whereby when the expert comes in, they will come and give you one touch. I mean, do this and let's see what is there. And as soon as you do it, you get that kind of feedback that they need. But before the expert came in, they have always run a lot of tests. So that's what I'm trying to say. That it's not about that we don't have that kind of expertise. I know we have. But what I'm trying to say is that our first hand of call with the patient, with the doctors that we meet when we go to the hospitals, are not that kind of strong enough for us to be able to do one test. Let me get this. And it's always like try and error. So it's not about some disputing that we don't have the doctors here. I know we have the good doctors here, but I'm just trying to talk about our first point of call when you get to the hospital. We don't have that kind of, they don't have that kind of, should I say, expertise, or they don't have that kind of confidence, that kind of experience to be able to get to you that, okay, this problem that you came in with, let's do this kind of test, and that will solve that kind of problem. I hope you get me. So I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just saying that that kind of expertise or that kind of experience that we have at first-hand information is not there. Imagine that somebody who has had an accident get to an emergency room, and then you are giving that person to maybe an upcoming doctor, somebody who has not even finished, to come and handle such a person. The person will end up doing this kind of try and error. I've seen it over and over and over again. So I know what I'm also talking about. I'm not attacking anybody, but I'm just saying that we should beef up our knowledge within our doctors or that kind of training, so that when a case comes, one off, we're able to touch it and then we go our way, than doing this kind of try and error with these kind of lab tests, and stuff like that. They have run an instance whereby somebody who has a bone fracture or something with the bone, he went and then the doctor there asked the person to go and do MRI. Look at the cost of MRI. But when the expert came in, he said, "Oh, no, I don't need an MRI. Give me normal X-ray, and I'll be able to tell you what the problem is." And the problem went to do an MRI before. He has spent all kind of money to do MRI. Meanwhile, he could have gotten it from a simple X-ray. This is what I'm trying to say. I hope you get me. So I'm not attacking anybody. With all due respect, I respected them very much. Well, I'm not attacking anybody. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for your clarification there. But again, Randy, you were talking about the
Yeah, so the unavailability of the equipment or working tools is also another issue. That's why sometimes the drug, it looks as though so you see, sometimes some of these things, because they would want to treat it, and I'm using that as an example. For instance, they would want to treat it, and I'm using that as an example. For instance, if you're going to take away that thing, if you're not careful, you're going to break a nerve. So the person might not be able to move his fingers. So the person might not be able to move his fingers or his legs or something. So they need or his legs or something. So they need time. They need to thoroughly know what exactly is the ailment. Right. Or you get it. So they can. It's not a joke. I mean, having this. It's not a joke. I mean, having these medical officers in Ghana and all of that. I insist. Our health sector is lagging behind. Look at UGMC, for instance, and that's more like a point of call. Anytime people want to talk about health facilities in Ghana, they talk about UGMC. Can we replicate that across the 16 regions of the country? The results.
Yeah.
Because people are handling it. Somebody can even mix it up. So whatever test mix it up. So whatever test that is for Clenham can be mixed up. Right. You know how porous the system is. We're in this country and somebody went into a whole hospital to steal a baby. You know, so if these things are available, we shouldn't be having challenges with it. DNA, I am all for it. It's the way to go. If you have the heart like mine, if you have the mind, do you get my point? Yeah. These things break homes. I mean, that's where I am coming from. I mean, we know that women, I mean, women give birth, and the child doesn't even look like the woman. The child looks like their grandmom or their auntie from somewhere. How about that? And people just base those assumptions. Then I'm running to the hospital to go and run a DNA. Am I crazy?
You won't do.
I won't do. It will kill me. It will break me down.
Trust or proof? Where do you stand?
What is proof?
Proof of paternity.
What changes? What will change? What exactly?
Your investment has gone inside plenty.
Do you know that child will be affected? Or people who you nurtured as your kids.
Very true.
You get, or people who you nurtured as your kids.
Very true.
You get my point.
Very
so that's something. Yes, you can do it indoors. Don't bring it into the public domain, or stay away from it completely. Why? Somebody goes and tells your mom that you are not their biological daughter. You are not their biological daughter. Then your mom is running or your dad is running.
My lips and my mom's lips.
Exactly. Your mom is running or your dad is running.
My lips and my mom's lips.
Exactly. And so somebody will therefore say, how come Karen is not looking like the father? How come Karen is not looking like the father? Those are the things. That's how the real father. If you have the akuma, it is the akuma. And how do you call brain? The akuma. It is the akuma. And how do you call brain? A dream. To withstand that sort of pressure. Have you ever done an HIV test?
No.
Try and do it. Okay, maybe you are an adult now, but the first time I tried it, you know that sort of feeling you
What's
get.
What's there to fear about?
Oh, anything. But I can go to the barbering shop and pick. What is there to fear? As in what?
Yeah. I forgot to go and do it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
she gave birth, and the family from which the father of the child is coming from, they're actually very well to do. And guess what? The family are saying that before they come to name the child, there has to be a DNA test proving that the guy is actually the boy's father. I'm like, for real? And they insisted on that because...
Yes. So what?
No, but now we know that...
Clennon says that, imagine your child looks like an Indian. And you know so that you're a typical Igwe man.
Yeah.
No, but now I think we are out of time.
Yeah.
I would want us to roll over this topic.
Oh, certainly.
Get a health expert to probably... Okay.
Because you see, my grandfather is very... You know those, like, near albino with the dots later on the face. With the hair like carrots.
Okay.
So...
There is the Down syndrome people too.
Hey, now one dear. Jesus.
You get it.
Now you go and do prenatal course.
We'll have a great conversation tomorrow.
Certainly, viewers. We promise to bring you an extended